The sun is shining again. It feels like midsummer here in Coventry in October. Well, strange things are happening around Sphinx Drive, but hopefully the Sphinx can continue their impressive form in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Back-to-back victories have truly kicked off this Step 4 season, this historic season in the history of Coventry Sphinx Football Club. We are live from the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena in the gantry, which has quickly been renamed Cookie Tower by our esteemed media executive over there, Chris Nee. We are thinking of a new name in the coming weeks, but that's sticking for the time being. Yeah, back to the action. It's Coventry Sphinx versus, who are we playing today? Of course we are playing the Steelmen, Corby Town. The visitors this afternoon, who are without a victory in 4 matches. They will be hoping to turn things around and reignite their ambitions for the playoffs, but they're just missing out last season. Let's take you through the starting lineups now, kicking off with our visitors of Corby Town, starting for the Steelmen today. Number 1, Dan Wallace. Number 2, Callan Thomas. Number 3, Dan Gordon. Number 4, Jack Keeble. 5, Drew Richardson. 6, Callum Milne. 7, Connor Tomlinson. Number 8, Tristan Thompson-Matthews. Number 9, Toby Hilliard. Number 10, Jordan O'Brien. And number 11, Matt Slynn. Substitutes for the Steelmen: number 12, Joe Butterworth. 13, Tomasz Bukowski. Number 14, Abdul Karoma. 15, Danny Setchell. And number 16, Christopher Oti. And for Coventry Sphinx, number 1, Keelan Fallows. Number 2, James Bryson. Number 3, Finley Shorrock. Number 4, Callum Whiteside. Number 5, Lewis Guest. Number 6, William Edgingwele. Number 7, Joe Percy. Number 8, Callum Woodward. Number 9, Matty Shipman. Number 10, Sam Ellis. And number 11, Dylan Parker. Substitutes for the Sphinx: number 12, Max Johnson. 14, Luke Downs. 15, Lee Phillips. And 16, Calum Bailey Nichols. It's match day at the Drive, and Coventry Sphinx are in buoyant mood. Will that mood continue? A real test for this newly settled Sphinx side. Players starting to come back from injuries and other absences. Joe Percy making his first appearance in 5 weeks, starting on the right of what we believe will be a back 5. And Sam Ellis in attacking midfield. Right, the whistle's gone. Let's get this party started. The Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena. Coventry Sphinx kicking from right to left in their sky blue and white strip. Corby in a Derby-esque white and black home strip. Dylan Parker. Little flick onto Matty Shipman and gets it back. Early drive from Parker. We know what he did last time he was on this venue. He won the game against FC Richmond Diamonds and very nearly put Coventry Sphinx in front. Flicked it beyond the goalkeeper. It just needed a little touch more power to make it over the line as it's hooked out for a throw. Now, wouldn't that have been a turn up for the Bucks? He scored with the last attack last time he was here, and on his return he could have scored on the first attack. Long run up and throw from Percy. Nodded out of the penalty area and chance to clear for O'Brien, but it's quickly hounded by a combination of Woodward and Whiteside. It's back with James Bryson. Lofts it left. A little push from Shorrock and deflected out. No, in fact, no, it's gone out of play for a throw-in to Corby. Well, Thompson went to ground. Could have got the free kick there, a little push from Shorrock, but referee says nothing doing. Launch up towards Thomas. Edgingwele with his hands all over the attacker, but it's now fallen to the feet of Tomlinson. Connor Tomlinson breaking down the right-hand side. Edgingwele jockeys in for position. He goes to the ground. Another challenge of Edgingwele. Appeals for it would have been a penalty. It was right on the edge of the line. Referee says no as Edgingwele clears. And a lunge in on Finley Shorrock. A clean enough challenge from Matt Slynn, the captain. And he took it out for a throw. Shorrock with ball in hand plays it short to Callum Woodward. the left-hand side, and done it back to Thomas. Whiteside playing in an anchoring midfield role today. He's been a real utility man for Coventry Sphinx this season, but the ball heading down the right-hand side from Joe Percy drifts out of play, and Gordon will take the throw to get us back underway at Sphinx Drive. Headed on towards Tomlinson, and Guest nods it into touch via the hip of the number 7, and a throw into Sphinx. Launched up by Percy. Shipman nods it up. Ellis trying to get on the end of it. Corby have got possession. It's across to Thomas on the right-hand side. Tries to lob it over the Sphinx back line. It's met in the air by Percy. Headed on by Woodward. Chested down by Gordon. Giving chase is Hilliard. And Bryson will see that one into touch. Shepherded out nicely. James Bryson firmly back in the groove. After missing the last couple of games of last season and the majority of the opening fixtures of this. Came on as a substitute in the AFC Rushden Diamonds victory and started the win against Rugby last week. So it's safe to say Bryson's been a bit of a good luck charm for Coventry Sphinx. Kick taken by Fallows. Shipman's up for it. Beaten mid-air only as far as Whiteside. So back where it came from. Shipman. And Woodward challenged from the side, and that will be a free kick in the centre circle. Little 2-4 rule from Slynn, captain on captain, in the midfield. Of course, let you know what's going on in the other games around the grounds, including at Premier League venues around the country and at the CBS Arena just down the road, where Coventry City are taking on Norwich. Woodward's free kick just flicks over the head of James Bryson and out for the goal kick. One final score for the Premier League to bring you 10-man Tottenham, with Ibasuma sent off on the brink of half-time, winning at Luton with Mickey van der Veen scoring the only goal of the game. Finished 1-0 at Kenilworth Road. And in the Championship, it didn't end 1-0, it ended 4-0 to Middlesbrough in the Tyne-Wear derby. Sunderland 0, Middlesbrough 4, and Sunderland also had a man sent off. And if you're interested in the Formula 1, qualifying is still going on at the moment because there was a delay due to a change in the track. Tomlinson. And Edgin Guale sticks his boot in and out for the corner. Good defending from the former Sky Blues midfielder. Only 5 matches in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands today. Bedworth host Sutton Coldfield, Coleshill at home to Rugby, Gresley host Shepshed, and Spalding are away at Loughborough. And of course, today's match between Sphinx and Corby. It was Dan Gordon who put Corby in front last week against Anstey. Can he set up the opener? Wayward header only as far as Woodward. Handball clears against Lewis Guest as Slynn's effort pinballed through the penalty area. Referee says no. The danger not over yet. It's back with Slynn. He's going to have a go, deflects through, and well, Fallows was wrong-footed for a moment, but thankfully the pace of the ball was taken off from the deflection, and Fallows was able to gather it. Stays at 0-0. Fallows drifts down the right-hand side and drifts over the line, just in front of the Willie Nibbs Memorial Stand. A very poignant tribute before today's game of our good friend Dick, remembered in front of his bench where he and his good friend Eve, otherwise known as Grandad Downs, who has also left us recently, a few of Dick's ashes scattered near his old bench. So the Sphinx want to go out there and put on a show for their fallen friend. Gordon brushes past Percy, but Woodward retrieves the ball as the attack floundered. Cleared as far as Milne. Dungeon from, oh, look at that. Sam Ellis pirouetting away from his man. Deflected ball over to Shark. It's a bit of a messy start here at Sphinx Drive. Bryson wrestles it off Tomlinson. His lofted ball nodded back where it came from. Richardson couldn't find the teammate. It was blocked off by Whiteside. Thompson-Matthews. And that's a brilliant through ball. Finds O'Brien. Can O'Brien look to get the shot away? It's laid off for Thomas, who's going to drill it. He hits the net, but not the net he was wanting to hit. He's hit the netting behind the goal to protect the fans. It's a good shot the netting was there because that was heading straight for someone's head, and it was a powerful effort from Callan Thomas. Follows away. Again, Shipman is the target, beaten mid-air. Over a kick by Woodward to keep it alive. Once again, Richardson gets his head on that. Shark flies into the back of Thomas. Woodward off balance, able to find Parker. Looks for Shipman, but mid-air it's Keeble. Now Milne. Jack Keeble. Floats it along the left-hand side. Just tapped into touch by James Bryson, allowing his teammates to track back. Slim was waiting on the left-hand side of the penalty area, ready to whip it in. It's Gordon with the run-up and Gordon with the throw. It's a powerful one. Fallows couldn't get to it, but it's cleared as far as Dylan Parker. Corby have got it back on the edge of the penalty, though. Strike charge down by Whiteside. Back out with Gordon, who took the throw. And a free kick given as Tristan Thompson-Matthews fouled on the edge of the area. Left-hand corner of the box, and a real opportunity now for the Steelmen, who have had the better of possession thus far. Gordon offering the short option. He's towards that far post and Guest heads it away well. Out as far as Slynn. Return to sender with O'Brien. Corby not letting this one lie, and again Lewis Guest is there to divert the ball away. Thomas. It's a floating ball, volleyed into safety by Percy, and Shipman trying to put the back line under pressure. Can he get to that nodded back pass before Wallace could get there? No, he can't. Dangerous game played by Corby, especially with a striker with the talent of Matty Shipman lurking around. Richardson sends Thomas on his way, and Thomas has got there in front of Shark. O'Brien. Milne. Going to return to O'Brien down the right. Whiteside's with him. Tracks him in the corner. O'Brien's got to try and find a way out and finds Thomas. Got the opportunity now for the right back. Opens up a little bit of space for O'Brien. O'Brien, and gathered at the near post by Keelan Fallows. With Toby Hilliard hoping to mop it up. High field from Fallows. Keeble gets his head on it, but Shark first, the second takes it too close to Slynn. Slynn again, now O'Brien. He's got Hilliard with him, takes it past Edginguele to Hilliard. Thomas. I'm going to put it through for Tomlinson. Connor Tomlinson taking on Bryson. in a perfect position to Gordon to have a go, but he couldn't get there in time thanks to Percy sliding it up to Parker. And now Parker looking to send Matty Shipman through, but Shipman wasn't ready for it. It was too central for Matty Shipman. It's back with Wallace. Up by Milne. Thomas. It's over Guest's head. Percy brings it to feet under pressure from Gordon. Finds Shipman. Still in Sphinx territory. Shipman back to Bryson, quickly closed down by Hilliard. And the long ball nodded on by Ellis, and Parker should get there. Can Parker take it around Milne and try and get an effort away at goal? Tries to cross it instead for Sam Ellis. Ellis was a couple of yards behind it, and it was a simple gather for Wallace. Back out with Matthew Slynn. Now Gordon. Handball claims against Guest. Referee says no. The arms were by the side, not in a natural position, but the run from Tomlinson takes him out of play via a touch from Callum Woodward, knocking on the door of the Sphinx penalty area. Gordon once again has the ball. The throw. Percy gets there first, and another foul in another dangerous position, this time from Percy. Taking out the leg of Tomlinson. Sphinx have got to try and keep their heads here. Corby have made a strong start. Sphinx looking to play on the counter. Early goal in the Premier League. Everton lead Bournemouth by 1-0. Former Manchester United man James Garner scoring for the Toffees. And in the Championship, a couple of early goals. Millwall lead Hull by 1-0. Duncan Watmore scoring there. And Stuart Armstrong has put Southampton in front against Rotherham. At the CBS, it's still scoreless between Coventry City and Norwich. Going to be left for Gordon. Plenty of power from Gordon, but plenty of height on it too. He missed the early kickoff in League One. It finished Oxford 2, Bristol Rovers 1. There were 3 red cards in that match, 2 of which were in added time, both for Oxford. No goals yet in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Again, there are only 5 matches in that division today. Follows away up towards Shipman. Got something on that, looking for Callum Whiteside. Dispossessed from behind by Matthews. Tomlinson couldn't take it beyond Bryson. Woodward. His clearance was charged down by Tristan Thompson-Matthews, now for a throw level with the mid part of Sphinx's own half. Bryson. It's over Shipman towards Dylan Parker, where it just bounces into touches. Not been a particularly attractive opening here at Sphinx Drive. 15 minutes gone, still 0-0. Sphinx, at the moment, struggling to get a foothold in the game. And has he given handball there against Hilliard? I think he has, but free kick wasted by Sphinx. I'm going to punch it upfield to Dylan Parker, but it was too close to Wallace. Woodward, overhead kick, looking to send Shipman on his way. And, well, the Corby man taking a tumble there. Far too easily, in my opinion. Jack Keeble going down like someone had shot it with an air rifle. Well, Jack Downs giving his opinion from the sidelines. It was those sorts of opinions that got him his first yellow card on Saturday. The second, just after Sphinx's goal, was for a foul, but it was still a second buckle offence and still a red card. Edging way, punched up towards Shipman. You can see what Sphinx's go-to is at the moment, but it doesn't seem to be working. They're trying to play these long balls from the back towards Matty Shipman, but Corby see it coming. Wallace. Keeble. Along the left from Keeble. And the offside flag raised against Tomlinson, who receives a sharp shove in the back from Lewis Guest, who just simply says, get up. You get no nonsense from Lewis Guest. What you see is what you get. And if you get on the wrong side of him, what you get usually hurts. Fallows. Connection from Shipman, couldn't take it to Parker, and it's lofted up by Thomas. White side. Bit of head tennis going on, but it's eventually brought down with a chest of Hilliard. And Hilliard looking to send Tomlinson through. Great pace on show from Connor Tomlinson. He'll get there before Bryson. Tries to lay it off, and a fantastic slide in by Guest to snatch it away from Matthews, who was ready to pull the trigger. Parker looking to put the defender Milne under pressure. Milne all the way back to Wallace. Thomas, whose space is closed by Sam Ellis. Milne back to Wallace, and now Corby can breathe a little easier. Wallace looking for Gordon on the left-hand side. Gordon gets there. Gets barging through Tomlinson. And it's back with Fallows after the ball through the midfield from Slynn. Didn't find anyone in blue or white. And there's been a goal at Turf Moor. Chelsea fans, avert your ears. Burnley 1, Chelsea 0. Shipman's header across looking for Dylan Parker. Shorrock looking for the give and go with Parker, but the go option was closed up pretty quickly. Ellis bounces onto the chest with faint handball appeals, but it's come away now with Matthews. Gordon, the left wing back. Both teams employing a 5-man back line, and it's an awkward one for Thomas, but he has managed to get a toe on the ball to slow it down. Wallace receives from Milne. And for Thomas again. Shorrock into the back on Thomas. Wherever he could have given him a free kick there, but lets the game flow. Guest forcing Hilliard all the way back. Richardson. Now darting forward is Matthews. Switches down the left. Toby Hilliard. Trapped in the corner by Bryson, has to try and find an option. He tried to find Gordon along the left flank, but it rolls over the line for a Sphinx throw. Deep into their own backyard, they can't afford to get this one wrong. Well, Blackburn are taking their defeat to Coventry on Wednesday. Well, they are currently 1-0 up at QPR. So the CBS is still scoreless between City and Norwich in the Mark Robins derby. Mark Robins, of course, playing quite a substantial amount of time at Norwich. Doctor's really a bit of a Norwich legend. A free kick given in front of the home dugout to Corby. It's lofted across to Milne. One of two changes to last week's starting 11 that's kicked off the game against Anstey. Hilliard taps it into the path of Thomas. Edging Guele lunges in and had to do the splits to get the ball. Ellis asking a lot of Percy to get to that ball, and he has got there. Scintillating pace on show from Joe Percy. Ellis. Back to Percy. Got a few Corby fans behind us. And the ball from Ellis collected by Thomas. Tomlinson. Oh no, Brian was just a couple of paces behind that one, but it's come out with Thompson. Lofted clear by Guest, back with Gordon. And across again, headed away by Guest. Nothing's getting through the vice-captain today. Parker dinks it beyond the midfielder to Sam Ellis. Shipman wants it to feed, he swaps sides. Here is Matty Shipman on the left. Olaf run being made by Finley Shorrock. But is he thinking about going for the spectacular himself? Squares it for Ellis, now Woodward. Lofts it left to Shorrock. Shorrock, just unable to keep it in. It was a high one for him. And in fact, I think the flag's been raised for offside against Finley Shorrock. Indeed, it has. 21 minutes gone here at the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena. Still 0-0 between Coventry Sphinx and Corby Town. Corby have started slightly brighter, but Sphinx are now starting to get a foothold in this game, and they've defended brilliantly. Wallace just inside from the right touchline, will take it. Leaping up was Callum Whiteside to get there first, but volleyed into the Sphinx penalty area by Keeble. Easy pickings for Fallows. Well, neither goalkeepers really had to make a save so far. I don't think we're going to be seeing as much attacking intent as we saw in the Rugby Sphinx match. Shipman's header only as far as Richardson. The target was Parker. As Callum Woodward slides in, got the ball trapped between his feet. What a scramble that is. But somehow it's Tristan Thompson-Matthews who comes away with it. Now darting down the left is O'Brien. And two lunges in eventually brought the ball out of play. The first from Percy, the second from Bryson. It was Bryson's sliding that took the ball out. Gordon. Cross charge down by Percy. Ellis will leave it for Dylan Parker, who sives it past Thomas. Shorrock. Parker, Sphinx maybe waited a little too late to start that counter, and now they're in their own backyard, encased in trouble as Fallows has to clear under pressure. Lofted along the left-hand side, just into safety really for Sphinx, but they have got it back from the defender, headed towards Callum Woodward, but Milne again gives it back to a Sphinx man. Ellis, Whiteside. Now with Dylan Parker, Shipman. Shorrock is free. Finley Shorrock picks it up from Shipman. And the cross into the hands of Wallace. Couple more goals in the Championship. Ipswich lead Preston by 1-0. Plymouth have taken the lead against Swansea. No more goals in the Premier League. But the Premier League matches are as follows. Burnley 1, Chelsea 0, Everton 1, Bournemouth 0, Fulham 0, Sheffield United 0, and Man United 0, Brentford 0. So you're pretty much locked in for a victory if you got Brentford to beat Man United. Not be the best of season for Ten Hag's men. Richardson at centre-back for Corby. Thomas making the run along the right-hand side and gets that. A brilliant bring down from Thomas. Look at the Corby in front, and it's blocked off by Fallows at the near post. An unbelievable ball from Richardson. Great control from Thomas. Just needed the finish, but Fallows stood in their path and kept them out, getting down low and gathering the ball. Milne on the volley from the goal kick. Thomas and floated over Hilliard. He couldn't get the touch right, and if he did, he would have been one-on-one with Fallows, but the goalkeeper has collected it. Fallows goes down the middle. Ellis to Whiteside, flicked on by Woodward. Parker sends it over the back line looking for Matty Shipman, but Shipman collides with Richardson. Shipman got the wrong side of him, and Richardson went to ground under the challenge. We're already halfway through the first half here at the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena. Only really one save to tell you about, that being from Keelan Fallows, keeping out Callan Thomas. And can Corby cause more mischief, but the free kick headed away by Lewis Guest. Thomas charged down by Shark, who's courtesy got the ball, and it's Sam Ellis. I'm not sure who he was looking for there, certainly not a Sphinx player. Just launches it up to Wallace. Wallace. Guest gets his head in there against Hilliard, and Callum Woodward caught in the head in a challenge with O'Brien. Didn't seem an awful lot in it, but Woodward felt something. Leicester just took the lead at home to Stoke. Cardiff 1-0 up against Watford. And Hull City have equalised at Millwall. The latest Championship score updates. And Wood was straight down the middle and straight down the range of Wallace, and it was an easy gather. He took the free kick from the halfway line. I think it was a tad too far out to go for goal. Thomas beats Sharrock in the air for that cross-field ball. Juggled up and volleyed away by Guest. And Shipman brings it down, but Richardson snatches it away from him before he could get into the box. Now Milne. Floats it over the back line, but Hilliard wasn't making the run. Back with Fallows. You expect a little bit better from both of these teams. Both teams are trying to play balls over the defences, and the strikers not making the runs. Fallows. And that's not the best of passes from Keeble. Instead of passing it to a teammate, he's passed it to Sphinx joint manager Sean Thomas, who shows that he's still got the skills to pay the bills. There's a throw-in just in front of the Sphinx technical area. Bryson. It's in the air by Slim. His opposite captain Woodward keeps it alive. There was a push in the back on Ellis. Referee says no. Sent high into the sky. Sharrock leaping for it with Thomas. The seconds come to Dylan Parker. Here's Edginguele. He's been instrumental since his arrival from Bedworth. Now Sharrock with a path blocked off again by Thomas. Back into the midfield with Whiteside. Charged down by Thompson. And the through ball put through for Tomlinson after a stumble from Guest. And Tomlinson could open the scoring here. Drags it past Bryson. Tomlinson, there's an unbelievable save from Keelan Fallows. And off balance, it's put wide. Fallows with an unbelievable parry from the right hand, plucking it out of the air. It seemed a dead cert in that position that Tomlinson was going to score. But somehow Fallows' heroics keep it at 0-0, and O'Brien off balance couldn't send the seconds home. Unbelievable goalkeeping from Keelan Fallows. He's kicked towards Shipman, nodded out by Gordon for a throw. Launched up by Percy. Shipman. Flicked on by Shipman towards Dylan Parker, but cleared out for an... It was going out for a throw there by Milne, but it's kept in by Gordon. Bryson sends it back into the danger zone, only onto the chest of Keeble. Bryson cushions it for Lewis Guest. Neither team can maintain possession for more than a couple of seconds at the moment. And Gordon can keep that one in on the far side, drifted out for a throw. And there's been a goal at Old Trafford. It's really not going well for the Big Six today, is it? Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. Matthias Jensen scoring, and we're hearing it was another Andre Onana mistake. And somehow he's up for the Ballon d'Or. We'll point out that was for last season, not this one. Edginguele. Slim picks up the seconds in the midfield. Tomlinson. Handball claims against James Bryson. Referee says no, it was flicked onto his midsection by Hilliard. Into the midfield with O'Brien. Connor Tomlinson. Now with Dan Gordon. Jordan O'Brien wants options in the middle. Sifts it through. Oh, just wide from Tristan Thompson-Matthews. Corby really have the momentum now. This time, Keelan Fallows' heroics weren't needed. But if that effort curled in at the far post like I thought it was going to from Tristan Thompson-Matthews, I'm not sure Fallows could have done anything. Fallows clearance up towards Matty Shipman. It's over Shipman's head and key ball into the midfield. Thomas high into the sky. That one Guest battling with Hilliard, and Hilliard goes to the ground. Picking up the seconds though is Thompson, and now Thomas through for another opportunity. Tangles next with Echenguele. Great defending from the veteran William Echenguele, keeping Thomas out. Well, Corby have been pressing and pressing and pressing for this opening goal, but Sphinx have rebounded everything. Shot towards Hilliard and nodded out again by Echenguele via the head of Toby Hilliard. Throwing just about level with their own penalty area in their own backyard. Coventry Sphinx, William Echenguele to take it. Echenguele's throw off the back of Shipman. Slynn. Game of head tears going on here. Slynn again nods it up. Little push in the back on Woodward. Referee says nothing doing. Shark keeps it in, hooks it along the left touch line. Collected by Richardson. Thomas. Richardson again. Looking for Hilliard, and the sizable presence of Echenguele blocks his path and hooks it out on this near side. And still scoreless in every single Northern Premier League Midlands match, according to our football web page's score app. It's not been the most interesting of days in this division, it must be said. And waiting for another ball to be distributed to Dan Gordon. And Gordon has now got a ball. Gordon with his sizable throw into the penalty area. Claimed by Whiteside, hooks away. Slynn will race to the seconds. Matt Slynn to Dan Gordon, back to Slynn. Taken out on the challenge by Sam Ellis. Woodward decides to keep it in, try and kickstart the counter for Shipman. But it bounces into touch. And Thomas asks the Corby camera to stop the ball so Corby can get underway again. 10 minutes to go until half time. Remains at Coventry Sphinx 0, Corby Town 0. Thomas. Now with Slynn. Across to Richardson at centre-back. Crossfield ball towards Dan Gordon. Can he pick him out? Gordon has got there, but under the challenger, Bryson can only find touch. Hit the deck as well. Fallows will get us underway once more. Fallows. George nods it into the midfield. Richardson. Sends it into the centre circle, nodded across by Woodward to Finley Shark. Handball claims he did lean into it with the arm, and the referee gives the free kick against Finley Shark, who kicked the ball away to ensure that his teammates could regroup and Corby couldn't take a quick one. Tomlinson. Thompson wanted to make the overlap, but his path was blocked, but Thompson has got it back now from Thomas. Switches the play over to Gordon. Tomlinson, can Gordon get there before he goes out of play? Well, he might have done, but Bryson taps it out. He feels he got a touch off Gordon on the way through. Appeals to the referee in vain. It will be a corner. Can Corby make their momentum count? Across the penalty area and out towards O'Brien. And sent skyward by Richardson. That is what you can definitely call a defender's finish. Today's coverage, as always, sponsored by our friends at Cahill Contractors. Thank you very much for your support. And we will be going off there at half-time for a quick drinks break, so get back here for 4 o'clock on this beautiful October afternoon. Shipman backing into Milne. Thomas swiping across and takes the ball. Hillard is the target, and a back rate came from by Guest. And Woodward again caught in the head by O'Brien. Sorry, Matthews, I should say. And the physio is being called over to assist Woodward, who seemed to take one on the forehead. So a word of warning for Tristan Thompson-Matthews. As Woodward gets the necessary treatment. Well, if Woodward can't continue, and I'm not, of course not suggesting that at the moment, the logical choice would be to bring on Luke Downs, who has returned from suspension, got a highly controversial red card in the game against AFC Rushden Diamonds, but of course it was a second bookable offence and no appeal was possible. Also amongst the substitutes, fellow midfielder Max Johnson and Lee Phillips, as well as striker Caleb Bailey-Nichols. Well, next time we come to you here on the Sphinx YouTube channel, next Saturday at, don't giggle, Butthole Lane. As Coventry Sphinx make the trip to Shepshed Dynamo. So Woodward leaves the pitch for a brief moment as we enter the last 5 minutes. And without the captain, who hits back on now, it's Shorrock. I think he was looking for Lewis Guest, who he was hoping was heading to the far post. Guest was heading towards the centre of the penalty area. We said, fair to say that Sphinx haven't really had a clear-cut opportunity in this first half. Milne, forced back where he came from by Parker. Good covering. It's with Wallace, who's had a quiet afternoon. Richardson, who hasn't. Finds Jack Keeble. Gordon. Drills it towards, he was looking for Jordan O'Brien, couldn't find him. Clearance nodded back to Gordon by Keeble. Guest overhead kick keeps it away from Hillard. Slynn nodded to the left side of the park. Bryson has to try and keep it in via the header. That gives away the throw. Quickly taken by Thompson. Tomlinson, who's had the best opportunity of the game by a mile. Hillard. Slynn. Patient build-up play from Corby. Keeble. Back with Gordon. Tomlinson. A brilliant lunge in by Woodward to snatch it away from Tomlinson as he was about to enter the penalty area. Bryson's counter curtailed though by the sizable presence of Dan Gordon. Running straight at him and pulling it out for a throw midway into Sphinx territory. Another goal at Goodison Park. Everton now 2-0 up at home to Bournemouth. Jack Harrison scoring there. Still 0-0 between Coventry City and Norwich. Bryson with the run-up and throw. Shipman the target. Shipman nods it down looking for Dylan Parker. Didn't reach him thanks to the intervention of Richardson. Edging well, keeping Tomlinson out of the game, but it has found Hilliard. Behind O'Brien, and allows Bryson to intercept and clear. It's going to be a race to get to the ball, and it's a race that Milne wins. Slynn. Richardson opens up a pocket of space for Milne again. Can Corby make it count? Thomas, who has looked dangerous along that right-hand side. Caught off by Whiteside, playing in midfield today. O'Brien. Poor control from Thompson allows Ellis to intercept and play it through for Parker. Matty Shipman couldn't get there ahead of the defender. It was a good idea there, and good physicality on show by Thomas and Shark to wrestle for the ball there. It's fired along the left-hand side and straight into the path of Wallace. Apologies if the commentary isn't particularly interesting today. It's not been the most interesting of matches. There have been probably about 2 opportunities worth telling you about. Not a pretty game, but you will get games like this at step 4 this season, especially in this league. Some tough opposition. Tomlinson's shot blocked by the chest of Guest, and again handball claims. Now Shipman's got to try and find a route around Milne. He's all on his own here. Shipman tries the through ball into the area, but Dylan Parker was a couple of yards behind it. Some fresh ideas may well be needed at half-time from Messrs Thomas and Woodward as we're about to enter the last couple of minutes. Remember, we are going off-air at half-time for a quick break. So get back here for 4 o'clock for the conclusion of today's match. Ejinguele wants options. Flicked on by Shipman. Now Dylan Parker brings it to feet. But again, just before the crucial moment, Keeble steps in. Sphinx barely had a sniff today, thanks to the quick thinking of the Steelmen back line. Well, the counter is prevented with Shark nodding it out away from Thomas along the right-hand side. This could be the final attack of normal time in the first half. It's thrown to Milne. Tomlinson. Thomas again covered up by Shorrock. Crossed by Thomas towards that far post where Gordon was waiting and nodded out for the corner by Joe Percy. No nonsense stuff. If in doubt, get it out. Taken towards that near post, but easy pickings for Finley Shorrock. Woodward finishes the job and launches it up towards Shipman. And it's bounced past the defender, and Matty Shipman along the right-hand side. Can he find a route into the penalty area? Parker makes himself available in the box, but Shipman's path is blocked. Forced down line towards Callum Woodward. Fired in by Woodward. Parker's onside, but has to race over to the left wing to keep it in, and couldn't. Out for the goal kick. But that's probably the most dangerous Sphinx have looked in this first half. Wallace's clearance, Ejinguele up for it and straight into the back of Hilliard. And Hilliard is hurt. May need some attention from the physio. I think Corby were looking to take a quick one there. And in fact, Ejinguele is being called over by the referee with some enthusiasm, it must be said. Ejinguele pleads his innocence. Referee doesn't want to hear it. Oh, shit. Thomas. Deflected behind for the corner. A chance for Gordon to whip it back in. There's a bit of pushing and pulling in the penalty area. Oh, chance of off from the Corby fans are slightly hopeful as Ejingwale is in the referee's eyes again. Good strong header away by Woodward. And that's the end of the first half here at Sphinx Drive, and not one that will live long in the memory, except for a brilliant save from the goalkeeper Keenan Fallows, the only memorable highlight of that entire first half. Hopefully the second will bring something better, but before we go into half-time, let's take you through the latest scores around the grounds, starting with, in our league, the Pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Again, only 5 matches today in the Northern Premier League Midlands, and only 1 goal. Coleshill leading Rugby by 1 goal to nil. Elsewhere, it's Bedworth 0, Sutton Coldfield 0, Gresley 0, Shepshed 0, and Loughborough 0, Spalding 0. So not a day for goals in the Pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Elsewhere in the Premier League, full-time score, Luton 0, Tottenham 1. Chelsea have equalised at Burnley. Burnley 1, Chelsea 1. The equaliser coming from a Al-Dakil own goal. So they have to get Burnley to score for them. Everton 2, Bournemouth 0, Fulham 0, Sheffield United 0, and Man United 0, Brentford 1. And I can tell you, at the CBS Arena, there has been a goal, and it's gone to Norwich. Jonathan Rowe puts the Canaries in front. Coventry City 0, Norwich City 1. So not going well for the Sky Blues. And also for some Formula 1 news, if you were checking out what was happening in the sprint qualifying at the Qatar Grand Prix for the sprint race later today, Oscar Piastri leading a McLaren front row. Piastri first, Lando Norris second, Max Verstappen down in third. So if you're a Formula 1 fan, that's going to be one to watch. But don't go anywhere before you listen to the conclusion of this match, which will start at 4 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. Half-time score, 0-0 between Coventry Sphinx and Corby Town. We're back for the second half here at the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena, otherwise known as Sphinx Drive, and 2 changes at half-time for the Sphinx. Leaving the field, Callum Whiteside and Sam Ellis, and heading on, Max Johnson and Luke Downs. So the changes just confirmed on the far side of the field with the substitutes board. From what we can see, no change. Oh, there has been a change for Corby. The number 16 has just come on. We didn't see the number of the player leaving the field, but we can tell you that's Christopher Oti who's headed on. That's Jordan O'Brien who has left the field, the number 10 for Corby. So 3 changes overall. 2 for Sphinx, again, Downs and Johnson on. Whiteside and Ellis off, and O'Brien has left the field for Corby and replaced by Christopher Oti. So, back underway with the score at 0-0. And Oti looking to get involved immediately down the right-hand side, looking to boot it into the area, drills it across. Luke Downs brings it to feet and looks to find Shipman upfield. Shipman nods it up. Stabbed away from him by Slynn. Plays a 1-2. Oh, that's an awkward one. Gets away from Tristan Thompson-Matthews. And just in front of the Woolly Nibs Memorial stand, it will be a throw-in for the Sphinx. Edginguele. Done by Sharrock. Shipman was the target. Sharrock there again as Corby looked to clear. And the clearance could fall kindly for Oti unless Lewis Guest can do something about it, which he does. Fires it out on that far side of the field. And Downs heads the seconds from the throw out again. Another couple of yards along the touchline. Milne. Fantastic clearance by Edginguele, who may have stretched a little too far there, but he has got the boot on, and thankfully he's back on his feet. Downs. It's in the midfield now with Max Johnson, looking to drill down the right for Parker, but it connects with the standing leg of Matt Slim. Oh, and a little bit of handbags there between Johnson and, I believe, was it Richardson? I think it was. And Oti's going to have a go. And not a particularly successful effort. No real power behind it and wide at the near post. Follows with the goal kick. Lining it up. And there it goes from the Sphinx number 1. Didn't catch it particularly cleanly, but onto the head of Slynn for Corby. Now Oti. Thompson-Matthews. Now with Thomas, who was a particular threat in the first half. Forced away from the penalty area by Sharrock, who shoves Thomas into touch. Nicely played from Finn Sharrock. Of course, Sphinx only have 1 substitution left. They've made 2 at half-time, as we said. And they can only bring on 1 of Lee Phillips or Calum Bailey-Nichols, depending on which route the Sphinx management wants to go, whether they want to settle for a draw against a side hoping to be at the right end of the table, or if they want to go all out and go for a 3rd consecutive win. Hard fought in the midfield today. Sharrock, oh, and off the ball incident there between Sharrock and Thomas. It was almost as if Thomas hit him with a sidewalk slam, a wrestling move. You can tell there's a wrestling fan on their commentary today, can't you? But referee says nothing doing, and guess what a slide tackle that is. In on Toby Hillard. I guess will be my pick for man of the match so far. Johnson looks to get Sphinx at the right end of the pub, but runs into trouble. Shorrock also unable to dispossess Richardson. And it's fallen through for Oti, who is offside. The Edgingwale tried to make the block. And of course, while it touched Edgingwale, it wasn't an attempt to play the ball, so the touch doesn't overrule the offside. A reminder, Coventry City 1-0 down at home to Norwich, just up Jimmy Hill way. Hopefully the Sky Blues can turn it around there. Well, the Sky Blue and Whites are still in a scoreless stalemate against Corby. Edgingwale clears from that long ball from the back. Falls to Thompson Matthews, only as far as Downs. Shorrock. Johnson looking to play it through, and Dylan Parker was through, but it connected with his heels. He couldn't bring it to feet. He found himself in a brilliant position there, and Bryson onto the roof of the gantry. Well, I am really glad that I asked for that roof to be put on in August. I don't fancy wearing a helmet this season. Unfortunately, it's turned the camera off, so I'll have to get the phone out to record this bit. Long ball from the back, and Lewis Guest gets there. Downs to Woodward. James Bryson looking for an option which nodded in to touch by Keeble. There's the throw from Bryson towards Shipman. Trying to shrug off the attentions of several Corby challenges, but eventually gives away the free kick for a shirt pull on Richardson. And Shipman, less than happy with Richardson's reaction, went down in a heap. And Shipman is going to be in trouble here. Both players battling for possession. Shipman had a handful of shirt. That's what the free kick was given for, but Richardson went down in some serious discomfort. The physio has headed onto the field. So Richardson, I believe, is going to have to leave the field, even though he's now on his feet, but Shipman is still incensed. And the referee imploring Matty Shipman to calm down. Now, thankfully, calmer heads have prevailed. And Dylan Parker still trying to protest his teammates' innocence, but the referee wants Parker to leave him alone. Physio leaves the field. Well, no yellow cards brandished, but Richardson told to leave the field momentarily due to the intervention of the physio, which, in fact, Richardson didn't need treatment in the end. Plotted over to the right-hand side by Wallace. Into Oti. And Hilliard looking for a powerful punt towards the net, but couldn't find its way for a number of bodies. And Thompson Matthews trying to chip it over the goalkeeper, which he did, but he also chipped it over the crossbar. And Guest saying that he was having his shirt pulled too. I've got a feeling that this second half is not going to be harmonious. And Chelsea have turned it around at Burnley through a Cole Palmer penalty. So they were 1-0 down at Burnley, but they're in front now thanks to an own goal and a penalty. Not exactly convincing from Maurizio Pochettino's team, but I'm sure they'll just be happy to be in front for once. So it's away from Fallows. And the defender using Shipman as a launch pad there, but Shipman has been able to maintain possession. Woodward looking to flick it over towards Joe Percy, and the goalkeeper was very close to stepping over his line and unable to actually catch the ball. Just had to try and keep it away from the striker and throw it immediately as he landed. Oti down the left-hand side looking for a route in, the defender in, and now Corby have a throw. Very fast-paced action there. Again, the next time we come on air to you here on the Coventry Sphinx YouTube channel is away at Shepshed Dynamo. And yes, there will be some jokes on the stadium name. Trying towards that near post. Guess is up there, as is Bryson. Oh, and an overhead kick attempt, an ambitious overhead kick attempt by Hilliard. Let's just say it didn't come to fruition as Sphinx get it away. Ejinguele follows up to Max Johnson. That's with Sharrock, high lofted ball towards Shipman, but beaten in the air by Thomas. Richardson playing a higher line in this second half. Guess not to Ejinguele, who clears Shipman's offside and can't interfere in play. So a roll back to Wallace in goal for Corby. Wallace. Tomlinson. And again, Corby can't find their way through the Sphinx back line. It's been a game for the defenders today. And Woodward goes to the ground, trying to stretch a little bit too much to get on the end of it. And it's opened the door now for Thompson Matthews to try and get a ball in from the right-hand side. And the cross was put in, but thankfully for Sphinx, the ball wasn't. The touch didn't come, and Oti slides onto the ball, trying to keep within the confines of play, but it had already gone. It will go for a goal kick. And breathe, commentator, breathe. Richardson trying to lift his team. He feels that Corby have gone a little bit flat. They don't seem as... Well, that's the first time I've ever heard Shipper called a sausage, but... So I guess they're photographer extraordinaire. Make sure to check out his photos after the game. The attacking intent from Corby hasn't been as intense as in the first half. Oti shrugged off the ball by Bryson, and Guest goes to the ground a little too easily for the referee's liking, and Oti again follows, denies Corby the opening goal, tipping it around the post. Guest thought he had a free kick, but Oti continued, stuck his laces through it, and Keelan Fallows once more is Sphinx's saviour. They found its way in! Has it gone all the way? Oti celebrates! Corby Town have finally got their opening goal, and you can't say they haven't deserved it. The corner in from the left from Thompson Matthews, Oti up for it. Fallows tried to get a punch on the ball, but this time he could do nothing. Well, Oti wheels away in celebration. If he did indeed get the final touch, then that half-time substitution has firmly paid off. But whoever scored it, the ball is in the back of the net, and Corby take a deserved lead at Sphinx Drive. Coventry Sphinx 0, Corby Town 1. And Sphinx needs some inspiration now to get back in this game. Johnson. And a free kick given against Coventry Sphinx there for an infringement on Tomlinson. So free kick about 15 yards into Sphinx territory. Altered away by the goalkeeper. And poor control by Tomlinson, but it's tapped over the line by Finley Shorrock. Hilliard couldn't control, Tomlinson couldn't get there, Jiguele away. Off the clear towards Shipman. Percy. That's with Parker to Lewis Guest. Shorrock. Sphinx trail by 1-0. They really need to find a way back into this game. Shipman trying to nod it on to Johnson. No one there. And it's back with Keelan Fallows. Bryson. James Bryson needs options. Still going into the path of Gordon, but the deflection takes it to Joe Percy. And Percy looking for an option in the penalty area, but it's knocked away by Richardson. Bryson taps it on Gordon, hooks it along the left flank, nodded on by Oti. Gets told by Downs he has time. Doesn't make any rash decisions. Now Downs, there's a lovely give and go with Max Johnson. And now Downs looks to put Parker through. Parker leaves it for Percy. Percy, it's over the head of Shipman. And Shorrock's presence forces Thomas to nod it out. Launched in towards Guest. Richardson's header and Hilliard clears as far as Luke Downs. Now Shorrock. Percy and Shipman's at the far post. Matty Shipman collides with the post as he heads it wide. And Shipman is in some serious discomfort. He put his body on the line to try and turn it home. But rather than coming away with a goal, he's come away with a shiner on the leg. Shipman receiving some treatment from the Sphinx medical team. If he can't continue, the logical thing to do would be to bring on Caelan Bailey-Nichols. And, well, Everton are having a great day, but they're now 3-0 up at home to Bournemouth. And it's still 1-0 to Norwich in the game between Coventry City and Norwich City. So, Wallace away as Shipman thankfully is back at his feet and able to continue how Sphinx need him. Oti. To Hilliard, a lunge in by Woodward. Hilliard went to grab. I don't think anyone made contact with him. Shipman. Looking for a route in, plays it across to Woodward. Hopeful ball into the area by Woodward. Max Johnson tries to pull it across. It hit the arm there of Slim, but it was in a natural position. And referee, rightly so, says nothing doing. Wallace off the chest of OT, who is claiming the opening goal of the game. Downs. Awkward touch from Percy, but he has got there now. Along the left touchline he goes, shoved to the ground by Dan George, and a free kick for the Sphinx. It's coming from the right-hand side of the penalty area. Callum Woodward standing over it. Plenty of Sphinx bodies in the penalty area. Can the skipper find one? Everyone but OT back for Corby. They want to maintain this lead. It's towards Shipman and headed onto the roof of the net. Shipman looking for a third goal in 3 games. Wasn't a million miles away from finding it there. And a change for Corby. Their second of the afternoon is being prepared as Dan Gordon has hit the deck and needs some assistance from the physio. And he is being withdrawn. I can tell you, Danny Setchell will replace him. Gordon, the goal scorer on last Saturday, in a 1-1 draw against Anstey. We are now being informed that Chris Otey has indeed been given the goal. It looked like he did take a touch on the way through. He was certainly challenging Keenan Fallows for the ball. And that substitution, I can tell you, is now confirmed. Dan Gordon replaced by Danny Setchell. So it's Wallace upfield. Was that off the arm of Bryson? Yes, it was. His arm was by his side, but he used it to control the ball. And it looks like Thompson Matthews is now slotting in on the left side of defence. It's almost like Corby have gone to a back 4 now. Not into the air by Hillard. Fallows claims. And now Sphinx have got to get themselves up the right end of the park, and sharpish. Johnson tricks his way past Slint. Phillips took it too close to Keeble. And Setchell looking for the run of OT, but the run was never made. Fallows. Shipman, good control and turns his man. But too many Corby men to deal with. As he tried to get past one, the ball was snatched away by another. And Sphinx have got a free kick there as Callum Woodward has gone down in a heap. Corby wanted a free kick on OT just a couple of seconds before, and John Woodward is on the field of play. Obviously dissatisfied with the treatment of his son, the Sphinx captain. And a yellow card for Satchel, who's only just been brought on. And I dare say that John Woodward is going to be sent off for coming onto the field. No, he's only got a yellow card. So John Woodward receives a yellow card for entering the field of play. But the most important thing now is the condition of Callum Woodward, who was suffering with an injury earlier this season. And now Sean Thomas arguing with the Corby management. Oh, a lengthy stoppage here as Woodward receives treatment. Let's have a look what's going on around the grounds in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands, if we can. Only 5 matches being played today due to cup competitions, and there have been a fair few more goals. There are now no 0-0s in our division now, thankfully. Bedworth United 0, Sutton Coldfield 1, and that is a surprising score. Sutton Coldfield taking the lead through Alex McSkane in the 58th minute. Kozel they were leading 1-0 at home to Rugby. Rugby equalised through a Loiso Recchi penalty, but George Washburn has just put Kozel back in front. Obviously here, Coventry Sphinx 0, Corby Town 1. Gresley lead Shed Dynamo by 1-0. James Slay in the 63rd minute. And it's 1-1 between Loughborough Dynamo and Spalding United. And Spalding were behind. Loughborough taking the lead through Evan Garley. But a Sam Warburton equaliser a couple of minutes ago has brought Spalding back into play. And Callum Woodward, I hate to say it, does not look in a good way. I think he's going to have to leave the field. He's still on the floor. And Caelan Bailey-Nichols is stripped off and ready to go. So maybe Sphinx going for a 3-man attack. They could have brought on Lee Phillips as a straight replacement for Callum Woodward, but they're saying, no, we're going to make this change. We're going to go for it. Caelan Bailey-Nichols, who looked promising in the game against Rugby, but is still struggling with that knee injury. He's going to head onto the park. They could have possibly put Jack Redhead into a number 10 role and pushed Max Johnson into a more defensive duty in midfield. Callum Woodward clearly is not going to be able to continue. Let's have a look at the scores in the Premier League. Well, Chelsea now seemingly out of sight. They've got their first goal from open play scored by their own player today through Raheem Sterling. Burnley 1, Chelsea 3. Everton still 3-0 up at home to Bournemouth. Fulham have just took the lead at home to Sheffield United through Bobby Reid. And Manchester United still losing at home to Brentford. This is going to go down as one of their worst ever starts to a top flight season. In the Championship, obviously the full-time score, Middlesbrough winning 4-0 at Sunderland. Cardiff 1, Watford 1, Coventry 0, Norwich 1, Ipswich 3, Preston North End 2, Leeds 2, Bristol City 1, Leicester 1, Stoke 0, Millwall 2, Hull 2, Plymouth 1, Swansea City 2, QPR 0, Blackburn 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Huddersfield 0, and Southampton 1, Rotherham 0. So those are scores in the Championship. The stretcher, unfortunately, is being brought on now for Callum Woodward. And it's quite clearly it's not a good situation for the captain. He's being edged onto the stretcher now. Both medical teams assisting with Callum Woodward. Thank you to Corby Town for assisting with the treatment of the Sphinx captain. It's very much appreciated from everyone at Coventry Sphinx. The substitution has already been made. Caelan Bailey-Nichols will be replacing Callum Woodward, and Lewis Guest will take over the armband. And I hope that this is not going to be a lengthy... wait, what? The referee has just booked Callum Woodward as he was being helped off the field, but Woodward clearly in some discomfort. They've just tried to lift him off the field, and he's it seems as if he's in too much pain to be lifted off. Oh, Callum Woodward leaves the field on a stretcher. Hope to see you back very soon, Skipper. A big loss for the Sphinx. And now Sphinx maybe have some added incentive. There's been a lengthy delay, so there will be a fair bit of added time. And that is a handball as the free kick is nodded away from the Corby penalty area. And Max Johnson is going to take over set-piece duties from Woodward. Or is he? In fact, standing over it is Finley Sharrock. Well, we've got about 15 minutes left of normal time, plus plenty of stoppages. Coventry Sphinx currently one down. Can they score one for their fallen leader here and give Woody something to smile about? It's Sharrock. It was dipping, not quite dipping enough. What's his ball and nodded into touch by Bryson. Oh, shotgun not getting that. And Corby being told to lead the ball. Well, they're in lead at the moment, so they'll be in no hurry to get the game started again. Well, now Thompson Matthews has got the ball and can get things going again. Throw towards Hillard. Challenging from behind by Percy, who gets in front of Hillard, and, well, that's unique. Percy's head was stuck between the legs of Hillard. Oh dear, that is one for the blooper reel. Percy. Over to Downs, who switches the play to Sharrock. Downs. Dylan Parker touches it on for Percy, who's brought down on the edge of the penalty area. Was it in? Percy believes it was. Well, no doubt in the referee's mind that it was a foul. Well, the yellow card brandished, swiftly followed by the red. Satchel is off. Well, if the OT substitution was an inspired one, Satchel's was not. And now Corby down to 10 men. Sphinx feel they should have had a penalty. They feel it was on the line of the penalty area, which of course means penalty. They may not have a spot kick, but now, for the second week running, they have a numerical advantage. Let's hope this one lasts longer than a minute. Now Corby are going to be putting everyone back. It's going to be a back to the wall job as it's punched away by Wallace. Edging Gwele, nodded towards the net and nodded away by Thomas before he could reach the line. Johnson. Here's Luke Downs. Now Sharrock. Every Corby player is back, lofted into the danger zone by Percy. Guest nodded across, but the first to it is Tomlinson, and OT is beyond the defence, and he's onside. It was in his own half. OT zoning in to wrap it up. It's a poor effort. Lost his balance at the crucial moment, scuffed the shot. And easy pickings for Fallows, but here comes Tomlinson. OT will have another go. He's put it in the back of the net, but the flag's up, it won't count. It was a better take and finish by Chris OT, but unfortunately this time the flag did rule it out. And Chelsea now 4-1 up at Burnley. Nicholas Jackson with the goal. That's surely all she wrote at Turf Moor. And Matty Shipman saying that he's been hit round the head by Thompson Matthews. Well, the linesman clearly didn't see the incident. To be fair, I didn't see it either. It's gone out for a throw now as Dylan Parker goes down now. I said it wasn't going to be a harmonious second half, and it certainly isn't. Well, Sphinx have got to try and keep their heads here. There's a game to win, and there's not long left. From what I can tell, it's about just under 10 minutes of normal time, plus stoppages. Bryson sent back where it came from by Slim. And OT. Couldn't get on the end of that one. It's going to be a throw in to Coventry Sphinx. Even their own backyard. Upline Shipman keeps it in. Johnson. Nichols trying to get on the end of that one. It's lofted up by Richardson and Shipman 40 up the throw, but no, the flag raised in favour of Corby, and Corby are going to make their last change of the match. And leaving the field is Connor Tomlinson, who had a brilliant first half, but has been MIA in the second. So Tomlinson off, and Joe Butterworth will replace him for the remainder of the match. Throw launched along the flank, but wood in the air by Bryson. Hillard. Butterworth punts it up towards OT. Couldn't outmuscle William Ejingwele. Only finds Slim. Shorrock in for the challenge. Bailey Nichols shrugs aside Thomas. And it's back with Fallows. Powerful punt. And nodded out for a Sphinx throw. Another ball retrieved, so Shorrock can try and get the game underway. Shorrock. Shipman trying to get a yard on his man, only as far as Richardson. Shipman charges down the intended clearance, though, but it's back to Richardson. Thompson Matthews. Shorrock just shields that one into touch. Throw by Shorrock. Caelan Bailey Nichols. Dinks it back to Shorrock. Matty Shipman. He's got another throw. Corby again only keeping OT up. Run up and launch in towards Guest, beaten mid-air, and the foul given against Lewis Guest. And collision mid-air between Guest and Thomas. We're hearing that Spalding are now losing 3-1. They were playing Loughborough Dynamo. We'll check the scores. And yes, indeed, they are. It's Rio Molyneux and another Evan Garvett goal. Loughborough 3, Spalding 1. Some strange scores around the league today. And Oti could be through here. He's one-on-one to seal it. Wastes the opportunity, and what an opportunity it was. High, wide, and not at all handsome. As Sphinx kick another ball onto the park to get this game started again. The score remains Coventry Sphinx 0, Corby Town 1 as we enter the final minutes of the second half. Shipman couldn't get on the end of that ball from the goalkeeper, Butterworth. Only as far as Guest, the centre back for Coventry Sphinx. Bryce along the right-hand side, Shipman. Again beaten to the ball. Down to a acrobatic attempt to bring the ball back, but Johnson has only found Oti, and now Oti sticks it into the gut of Keelan Fallows. Oti has been particularly wasteful in the second half, but he has been getting into the right positions. Shark, acres of space for Downs in the middle, and Shipman on the right. Switches the play to Bryson. James Bryson. I was looking for Max Johnson, but it's stuck into touch by Richardson, who's furious with the setup of his teammates. Bryson's throw to Bailey Nichols. Bryson's delivery, it's over Shipman. It was towards Lewis Guest, but nodded behind by Richardson. Sharrock, shot charged down. Johnson. Parker back in towards Guest, and Richardson goes down under the challenge of Guest from behind, and Corby are starting to feel they're nearly there. So Wallace will take the kick. Drifts towards the left. Hillard nods it on. Can Oti get there before Fallows? No, he can't. And Fallows looks to get Sphinx underway quickly. Lobs it to the left with Edgingwele. Sharrock. Downs gets it from Joe Percy, now playing in midfield. Edgingwele floats it up. Nodded away only as far as Shipman. Matty Shipman. Bailey Nichols, tried to play it through for Sharrock, but it connected with the leg of Thomas. Sphinx have got the throw. Thomas fell here, was fouled by Bailey Nichols. Referee says no. Shark with the run up. There it goes. It's over Bailey Nichols and headed out to Slynn. Slynn sticks his laces through that one as far as his opposite captain now in Lewis Guest, who took over for the injured Callum Woodward. Parker slips it down the right for Shipman. Shipman, it's a wayward cross. And out for a goal kick. Wallace's goal kick. Bryson nodded that off. Hillard. Sphinx throw. Bryson taking his time, trying to get the right option. Bryson flicked on by Shipman. Bailey Nichols trying to get there, but it's going to be shepherded into touch. Great work on show from Milne. And another goal kick to Corby Town, who are edging closer towards victory. Guest claims the goal kick on the head. Parker just behind that ball as it bounces out on this near side. Corby taking their time with this throw. It's eventually hooked up line. Another look by Bryson. Can Downs keep it in? Yes, he can. It's to Percy. Overhead kick. Looking for Caelan Bailey-Nichols. Another look by Slynn. And a free kick against Coventry Sphinx there for, I believe, a handball against Dylan Parker. Corby trying to take as much time with this as they can. Keeble's free kick. Edging Gwele. Percy runs into trouble, and now Butterworth brings it back for Corby. Thomas. You have to think the second goal would surely seal it at this stage of the match with Edging Gwele. Stole it from Hilliard, but took it over the line for a Corby throw. It's feeling more and more like Corby are going to edge out the Sphinx here. And there's been a goal at the CBS Arena. Coventry City have equalised in the 88th minute. A Ben Gibson own goal is about to seal, hopefully, a shed the spoils for the Sky Blues. Corby being urged to keep it. Hilliard retreating down the touchline, but runs into Johnson. Brilliant slide in by Johnson. Can Shorrock get to the seconds? Yes, he can. They can only hand them back to Corby. Downs away from Thompson Matthews, who goes down in a heap. It's not a head injury. Sphinx don't have to stop the game. Butterworth looking to send OT down the left, but it's out of play for the goal kick. And Thompson Matthews is back on his feet. Fallows, who can claim it in the air. Soft free kick given against Coventry Sphinx for a hand in the back on Keeble. Yellow card for Keeble for time wasting. It was definitely coming. So Keeble switched the play. Guest claims it, but nodded into touch. Halfway into Sphinx territory. Throw into the air towards OT, who's backing into Bryson. OT can finish it. Covered up by Guest. Hilliard. Sphinx stacking up, trying to keep Corby out. Handball clearance against Hilliard. Referee says no. Johnson in a scuffle with Thomas, but finds Finley Shorrock. But Johnson dispossessed by Thompson Matthews. And a lunge in by Joe Percy. Free kick and a yellow card against the Sphinx number 7. A slight delay in the free kick being taken. And Hillard is going to be going straight for the corner here. The 10 men of Corby are holding on. And they've got a corner. Deflecting out, I believe, Luke Downs. Taken short to Hillard. Hillard and Thompson Matthews trying to keep the ball encased in that corner. And handball claims against the Sphinx defender there as Thompson Matthews put it into a penalty area with no Corby players anywhere near it. Johnson. Good touch by Parker. I'm going to square it. And locked it away. Towards Shipman. And Shipman has got there. Matty Shipman puts it across for Ajingwele. Ajingwele being held. Percy! Cannons off the defender. And out for the corner. Johnson nodded down and locked it away, and the referee blows the whistle. Corby Town have held on, the 10 men of the Steel Men. A scrappy game decided by a scrappy goal. But for Sphinx, the defeat won't hurt as much as losing their captain Callum Woodward, who left the field on a stretcher. A strong defensive display from the likes of Lewis Guest and William Ajingwele. But it won't be a hat-trick of victories for the Sphinx. Final score here at the Sphinx Industrial Supplies Arena. Coventry Sphinx 0, Corby Town 1.